Good morning, everyone. I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and this is the Bible Delight in the Details, the October 22nd, 2019 edition. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11, the great King Solomon, wisest man who ever lived, save Jesus alone, said, He, meaning God, has set eternity in their hearts. Now, what exactly does that mean? You know, it's funny to me how we are obsessed with time. Are we not? We are obsessed with making the most of time. We get angry when we think people are abusing or disrespecting our time. It's all about time. We say to our loved ones, I will love you what? Forever. How silly this preoccupation with time is. Because no matter how much power, no matter how much money, fame, or influence you have, we cannot buy one moment more of power. I read recently that Steve Jobs, one of the last things he said was something like that. I have all this money, but I can't buy one more moment of time. Well, it's something that we all have felt. My friends, we want permanency, don't we? We want relationships that are good and stay good forever. We champion and celebrate marriages that have stood the test of time, or friendships that have been lifelong friendships. We crave to make an impression. How many times have you heard someone ask you, don't you want to leave a legacy? Don't you want to leave this world better for having been here? We crave an impact beyond our limited lifespan. I just was at the Watson Clinic having a blood test done, and I walked through a puddle, and I noticed that I was leaving watery footprints. Well, there was a man's footprints right there near mine, and his was still there, but they were starting to fade. And I knew that mine, because I was smaller and lighter, were going to fade even quicker. It wasn't that we weren't there. It's not that we did not actually walk upon that pavement. But there's a transitoriness to everything in life, and you feel it. How many times have you been very involved in an organization, perhaps? Maybe you were even the president, and you put your heart and your time and your money and all your effort into it. And maybe even people said, this is a golden era because you are here and you're leading this organization. And yet, when your tenure is up, guess what? It goes on. Maybe not as well, but it goes on. And don't you feel, wow, was all that in vain? My friends, we all yearn for eternity. We all yearn for immortality. It makes me so sad when I hear people who've lost a loved one, who are not believers, and who comfort themselves by saying, well, as long as I remember my family member, they still are alive. Well, that's only temporary. If that's all you got, you're going to be dead at some point. And even if you've tried to pass along stories to your children and grandchildren, they're not going to have the same connection, the same love, and ultimately those stories will be gone. One of the reasons I love the fact that my family is so history-based is that when you're studying history, you can't get away from the fact that things are transitory. We're talking all the time about dead people and what they did, but they are no more. We're talking all the time about ancient civilizations or civilizations that have changed greatly. If you're a historian, you know that time is not something we can control. I don't care how much power, money, etc. you have. Time inexorably marches on. And this is what I think Ecclesiastes is talking to us about. We crave eternity. We crave immortality. We crave something that will last. And yet, if you believe that we are, as we are, in a closed system, meaning that the natural world exists by certain principles, certain laws, and one of them is the passage of time, the transient of the human condition. unless you look for something outside of that closed system, unless you're willing to acknowledge that there is something super or above nature, supernatural, then there is never going to be in your consciousness, in your future, eternity, that permanence that we all long so much for. You know, when we say, I will love you forever, unless you know that forever is possible and that it is within your reach, that's just poppycock telling somebody you'll love them forever. I mean, you're writing a check that your body cannot cash. And so I love this verse. God has put eternity in our hearts, a desire for more. And when you desire something, you go seeking. And as Jesus said, when you seek, you find. I'm J. Lenora Bressler, hoping that you're going seeking for eternity and finding it in the Lord. Have a great day and join me for the next edition of The Bible Delight in the Details.